All right, we're back at Benelux. Today is the day the holiday transformation begins. We are going to garland like we've never garlanded before. We're wrapping, draping garland over the mirror, so it's very festive, very dramatic, very elegant. And then we're gonna do some like lit up shit too. I don't know where that's gonna go. Either around the front door on the outside or maybe in the big band of windows. We're gonna light up more garland and swag that too. It's gonna be jazzy. Get ready to swag. Added bonus, during this video, assuming I can make heads or tails of this garland, during this video I'm also gonna answer the questions that you guys asked me through Instagram. So I'm gonna just knock those out too. 1, 2, 3. This garland's crazy, yo. Okay, so first question from Chase Pierre, number 7, I think. He wants to know how I ended up doing Treehouse Masters. Essentially, it was like right place, right time. I happened to have been sort of contemplating doing a glass house, and then I kind of got an opportunity to do a tree house, and I was like, let's do a glass house tree house. And then Pete and I worked together, and we got on fantastically. I really got on really well with all the dudes. Obviously, like, we are sort of kindred spirits aesthetically and artistically and intellectually. We're just kindred spirits, let's put it that way. And so it just was like an obvious fit for everybody. You know, I was a designer, they needed a new interior designer. And we all got on so well. It was just really, it was like really fluid. It just made sense. So that was unbelievable luck. Talk about right place, right time. And then here we are, like 2.5 years later. And I'm still designing tree houses with Pete, on camera and off. So with no further ado, I'm gonna try and figure out how to tame this beast, because I don't know what's going on here. Next question, we are like knee deep in garland here, people. Next question's from Cindy_vet. Hi Cindy, I know, I love you too. Cindy asked how I actually learned my craft. And essentially, I studied architecture in school, and so I'm like formally trained as an architect. Although really, like, I think interior design was really always my true love. But like as a kid, I played with doll houses, I played with dolls. I never played with the actual, I just designed their houses. Like Barbie had the most amazing house ever in my house because I just kept redesigning her house. So essentially, like, you know, I became an interior designer really more like informally. And I don't know, I just recently read this quote about the idea that like the informally trained actually, like they design in a totally different way than the formally trained, because they're not confined by the rules and regulations of formal training. And so they just kind of do what feels right, and it's very much more about intuition and about flow and sensibility. And I don't know, obviously I like that because it kind of applies to me. But I don't know, I think there's something to that, that a lot of my design is really just based on a sensibility of space, a sensibility of flow, of balance. It's a lot about balance. And about like fun. It's meant to be fun, you know? Your home should not be a museum. There should be some like kooky stuff in there too. So yeah, that's sort of how I got my education, is really through architecture, which is how I really came to like understand space. But then I think it's much more informal than that, and it's really more about intuition. Okay, so with that in mind, let us carry on. We got things to do. Buyer is 6803 wants to know how I got into interior design and why I'm in my line of work now.
Yeah.
So I mean, literally I got into interior design, I think because I just fell in love with like playing around with all those parts. I kind of think interior design is a little bit like a puzzle, you know, where you're like, I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna move this, and you shift all those things around and you add and you subtract and then you create a perfect picture. And I love that. I love, you know, putting those last puzzle pieces in and then you can see the whole image. So that's really how I think that's how I got into it, because I love it. This appears to be a fire. There's a fire on the street here. Literally, in terms of how I got into it, I studied architecture in school. And when I got out of school, I went and worked at an architecture firm in the city for a couple years. And then so festive right here. And then the principal of the architecture firm where I worked hired me to do the interiors on his lake house. And I went and did the interiors on his lake house, and I came back and I was like, I quit, that's so much more fun. So literally I then like went out on my own, set up my own firm, became basically like sort of established my client base, and I've been doing it now for 12 years. So that's great. And again, it sort of was like, it just sort of happened. I was like, this is what I want to do, and I went after it, and now here we are.
And what are we doing here specifically?
And now, we're here. What I want is winterberry. But we'll see what we can buy. Let's go look inside too. What I want is winterberry. So Patrick Sage asks how the house in Maine is going. And I'm not gonna lie, Patrick, the house in Maine has slightly stalled. We've been crazy busy in New York setting up Benelux. It's Thanksgiving, we had like 1,000 people at our house, then it was Hanukkah, now it's Christmas. Also, it's freezing up there, it's cold as balls. So there have been a couple of circumstances that have prevented me from going up. But I want to be there, my heart's in Maine. So soon enough, but as of this moment, very little is happening. D_tweeds asks, how do I feel when I'm just about to start decorating a treehouse, when I walk up there for the first time and it's finished? And I don't know, I feel like full of excitement, you know, like there's so much possibility, it's all about to come together. I really feel like there's something about installing the interiors on the treehouse that's sort of like the icing on the cake. You know, they build this really beautiful structure and then I get to finish it. I get to like fill it out and make it soft and welcoming and complete. So I'm full of anticipation. Setlist asked, will I decorate his or her treehouse? Setlist, I would like nothing more than to decorate your treehouse. Assuming you have a treehouse, count me in. You will have to pay me, but beyond that, I would like nothing more than to decorate your treehouse. It would be my distinct pleasure. Okay, so Jason Wiggins Physics asks, are we going to open another restaurant? Do you mean in addition to the second restaurant? Are we going to open another restaurant? Probably, knowing us, I bet that would be what we'll do next, is open a third restaurant. Although what I really want is to open a hotel because I want to design all those bedrooms. I think that's a very large undertaking that requires an enormous amount of money, so that may be like a longer goal. But hopefully, yeah, we'll keep on opening restaurants, I guess. Unless this one kills us, in which case we won't be able to because we'll be dead. Okie dokie. We got all of the Christmas decorations up at Benelux. And now we are zipping back over to my apartment in Williamsburg, where we're gonna string up icicle lights, and we're gonna get those up in my like transom windows. I saw this apartment like over by the Williamsburg Bridge. Granted, this was like an epic high rise. It was incredibly graceful and had huge proportions, not my hovel. But they had these icicle lights strung up like from room to room across the top of their windows, and it looked really awesome. So I'm gonna do this at our apartment, which is probably going to make our apartment the brightest place on earth, because that apartment was like 2,500 square feet and had like 10-foot ceilings, and mine is the opposite of that. But it's gonna be great from outside. It's going to be bright from inside, but it's going to be great from outside.
Sap Fine Furniture asks, favorite color for an open floor plan in a contemporary design?
Hi, Sap Fine Furniture. Sap Fine Furniture is the guy who made the amazing kitchen island and countertop for Antonio Brown's treehouse, everyone. He is an incredibly talented person. Also sent me a beautiful jewelry box. Hi, buddy. So in terms of my favorite color, I know this is boring. I love white. I love white. White allows you to like add so much to an apartment or to a space, to an open plan. and still keep that sort of modern, open feeling. I think, you know, like our lives are full of stuff, right? We have art, we have furniture, we have knickknacks, we've got like towels and sponges and all that shit, right? So if you just paint a big open plan arrangement all white, it allows that stuff to sort of like, it allows all of your accessories to have a place without feeling cluttered. I think once you start layering in like color upon texture upon texture, like it just gets to be too much. It really detracts from that openness. So I recommend white. Also, I'm a big fan of Benjamin Moore's Chantilly lace. That's a white color. And also literally, I like Benjamin Moore's White 01. True white, just white. Nice. As promised, now we're gonna do the last of our decorations. I'm gonna stick these dudes up. I really have like a penchant for standing on swiveling stools. It's like, you'd think I like doing it.
Seems safe.
Oh, don't do that. And ba-da-ba-da. What do you think? Gorgeous? Ah, poo. Wait, hang on, let's see this. Boop-a-doop-boop-boo. Aw, I wonder if someone's outside of my apartment now looking up and thinking, that's nice, I should go get some icicle lights.